And we are back again,
Back
back
again.
again. Like we've never, not like we have never stopped from the parts unknown. This is
Yep.
a Clem Claw show, second and fourth Mondays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me? I think it's my end, not you.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, that's better. No, I can hear you. Yeah, that was my end. Anyways, 6:30 on the West Coast, 5:30 for you people. Actually, 4:30 for the Hawaiian time.
One time.
Not well. Hawaiian time. There's not really too much to speak on. Real quickly, I actually got one update, and I'll bring that up soon. Interesting
Okay.
week for me last week. How are you?
Oh, everything's fine here. I'm in New York City. Just here doing some
The
work.
city that don't sleep.
They say don't sleep. I think it slumbers a little
They
bit
don't.
between like 3 and 5:30, 3 and 5, 3 and 6. It seems to just slow down a little bit, a little bit.
Keyword, slow down a little bit. That doesn't necessarily mean they sleep, man. At least Las Vegas, they sleep because of the freaking because of the freaking desert heat. They have to sleep eventually.
Yeah. Yep. 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 But not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
Okay. So my one update is Sweet Fights again. As everybody knows, he's back again. But as we
Okay.
all know, it's not Cat Fights. Hate to tell the Cat Fight fans. I think it's Oil Wrestling, his third edition this year. I think
Mhm.
three now. And
Okay.
this one features a popular cat fighter. I think everybody knows who I'm talking about. Miss Mira Shriver back on the scene.
I do. You know what? I literally almost fell out when I saw that. I literally
You're not
almost
the only
fell
one.
out. Oh
You're
my
not the only
God.
one.
You got
I
Mirror to
couldn't
come
believe it.
back? Oh my God. Oh my God. I was really happy to see her. Really happy to
I'm
see her
excited
back.
too. And by the way, people, she answered your question too. Y'all people were asking if she was ever going to do any more cat fights. She answered that quickly. No. So stop asking. Now y'all got the answer.
Uh,
Let sleeping dogs lie. But as usual, she had of course she had Paisley and Vivian and some I think there was someone else. So according to what he said, there are four matches. This is fairly long, right? Fairly long for once. Because it was actually four combatants. Last time was three, so there's a big difference. So we'll see. I think it's about to be out very soon because the man has to work on long, as Claus knows. When you're a producer, you have so many shoots in a can. It takes a while to get these things out.
hmm
And
Yep.
oh, and there's one more announcement. I think Mexican Catfight has some kind of video where he's doing that. His old videos where he's showing out old videos, old things he had in the can. I guess that's been going around on Twitter too, or
Maybe
X.
stuff that was on the cutting room floor
You could say
or
that.
something. Okay.
Pretty much. There's nothing new to it.
Sometimes no, sometimes you can have like do a compilation.
Hmm.
Let's say for example, like I know Tilly used to do one with Tilly Town. She used to do one every year, like a compilation of like all the fights or whatever for the
Yep.
year, and
Yep.
stuff like that. It won't be the same as a main one, but just something else. Sometimes you can just repackage it, and just repackage it in a different way, or you add some behind the scenes stuff, or some other stuff that maybe at the time of the fight you didn't have clearance for. You ended up getting clearance later for it, and then say, we're gonna go ahead and pull it out. That happens a lot, especially if it's a something custom built. Let's say, for example, you did a custom for someone,
Yep.
and then they allow you to say, "Hey, we'll allow you to release it later." You can
Hmm.
do that as well.
Since our girl Reagan put out a video, last time we were talking, what was it? Because I forgot already. I know she put out a video
Well,
just now. I know
did she
it was
put? I remember we did the show, and she had talked about putting out something earlier
yep.
that day, but I don't know if we ever saw whatever she put out.
But I think we did. I think she just. I think was it. I don't know. She probably did. I thought she put out something. Might be wrong.
But I just remember we ended the show and we saw the note on Twitter. We were like, "Hey, we could, come on the show. Let us know. We got a platform." Um,
Still no response.
but I will say one of the
Go
things
ahead.
that I'm looking forward to with Tonight with our special guest, we have a special guest coming on the Twitter. You've been following Goddess Rojo Montana. She'll be joining us tonight. Um, One of the things that I would like to say that we're not so much that we run out of people to interview,
Mm, mm.
but it's just that I think with the female fight genre, I think it's time for us as a show. This is just me, and as the industry to kind of expand just a little bit
Yeah,
past the horizons because you'll have some ladies that will do competitive or they'll do competitive wrestling, but they may not do catfights per se, you know.
yeah,
But to me, it's like we're splitting hairs at this point. You know, it's
yeah.
almost like saying, all right, well, if the only thing they're not doing is if they may do hair pulling, they may not do hair pulling. There's no stripping of clothes,
Mm,
and they're still doing the locks and holes and stuff, and you know,
yeah.
it's all relative. Because even as a producer, there's been stuff to where I may do like certain thing matches, or hey, you know, you have to win by using head scissors, or submissions only,
Hmm.
or rear naked chokes, or even it could be a face set. It could be a face stride on. All of that, all of that exists. So
I
we
agree
can
with
do
you.
it
I feel like
different kind of ways.
as a fan base, like you said, we have to start understanding that catfighting is going away, people. I hate to tell y'all, but it's going away. If you haven't noticed, it's becoming less and less and less and less. It's just how it
Yeah,
is. I
yeah.
hate to
Because I
tell
mean,
y'all.
if you look at truly by the number of um, just offerings that there's been, there has been a decline.
Yeah,
And it's just one of those things. I think that the industry comes and goes because I remember
yeah,
there was a time years ago. I want to say this was about, and I'm thinking hard. I want to say this was like somewhere around 2004, 2007. Like there was
yeah.
a gap
You're something like
where
that.
it wasn't much because Crystal Films was like really the only thing. ENCW hadn't done nothing in a while. You see what I'm saying? There was a gap.
Yep, yep,
All you had was DWW, APL,
yep.
and that was it. There wasn't really anything else. So we've had waves to where stuff is coming and going. But I think with this wave, I just don't know how much of it would stick around, or we'll just end up having where it's more so talent that's willing to do competitive, but maybe
Yeah,
not so cat fights per se.
yeah. I see more.
Um,
I see more fantasy cat fights on every time I go to like the website. Session girls. I see more and more fantasy cat fights. So that tells me
I
how that goes. I don't know how I feel about this, but
it's yeah, I would say with section girls, that's the one thing I wish because if you
it's annoying.
notice, they have for the wrestling, they have the different categories. They have fantasy wrestling, semi-competitive wrestling, competitive wrestling.
Yep.
For cat fights, I think it should be the same thing. But I think yeah, because it's you're talking about a niche of a niche. If I have
Yep.
to choose between either doing, and this is just not so much me as a producer, but me as a consumer, as a fan, if I have to pick between a competitive match that's not catfighting or a catfight that's scripted and fake, I'm
Nah.
taking the competitive all day.
Me too.
Because again,
All
I
day.
look at it as a sport. I look at it as a sport. Like
Me and you
on
are the
that
same.
day, who's the best and who was ready to rock and roll. That's
Me and
how I
you. I
look
think
at
me
it.
and you are on the same mind. Me and you are on the same mindset of this is a sport. I know a lot of people think of it as a fetish before a sport.
Right,
I'm like you. This is like a competition of who is better than who on that particular day.
right,
It happens. Everybody has off days. It happens. Sometimes your opponent is better than you in all sports. It's not just
right,
catfighting. It's in all sports. If someone's better than you, they're just better than you. Everybody prepares the same. So that's how it
right.
goes. So yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to scare anybody in catfights. We're just giving you guys a fair warning that things are becoming more and more competitive, right? More and more women are doing more competitive because it's all about the body. It's all about your face. It's how it is now.
And even looking at something like, say, Street Fights and what he's doing. Even when
Yep.
looking at that, I can even live with, like all wrestling is not really my thing. It's just not. But the fact that he has all wrestling and is still competitive, I can live with
Yep.
that. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? It's just that it may not be my cup of tea, but at least that's something where if I had to pick again between just give it to me competitive, fine. I'll take all. Now I know just
Yep.
trying to put on something like that all is not easy because you
No.
got all no Jesus. You got all of the oil and you gotta have the mats and stuff and then how do you do cleanup? That's
I
my
don't
thing.
know.
Oh Lord, how do you do cleanup
And the
for
thing,
that?
and the thing that's interesting with him is he's using tarps, right? I think all the ones I've seen is using tarps, so he's
Yeah, so
not using mats.
right. Because stained it, but still you
Yeah,
still
which
gotta
is
walk
fine.
to the
Yeah,
girls
but like you
walking
said,
to the tarp is fine, but it's just that once you get done, then
yeah,
it's like how you get all that oil off you walking all the way back to the shower area. You gotta
true,
wash all that off, and so
which is fast.
I've never done one, so I just don't know all the mechanics that go into it. I'm sure that
Mhm.
there's plenty that's out there, different ones like Lady O and Sweet Fice and Tilly, that
Yep,
have done some. So
Paisley, those types. Yep,
yeah, so they have done some. And speaking of, I think this put us at a good time
yep.
because I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have our special guest. Our special guest, we're gonna bring on. Let us give, ladies and gentlemen, a heartfelt welcome to the goddess herself, Ms. Rojo Montana.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey,
Question: Are you on the phone, right? I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can turn it, wrong ways,
Yeah. One
it
second.
would. Let's see if it'll fit more the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, again, like I said, we have now. There we go. This will be Rojo. Welcome to the Clem and Cole show. I'm
Hi.
hey,
Kaiser. I'm the call for it, and we have
how are you?
the
Great. I'm
Clem.
happy to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. One of the things like we were saying just before, I don't know how much of it you heard in the backstage. We were saying that how even with catfighting, I know that was normally our primarily of the show, but we have been expanding into all forms of female combat,
Going to.
whether it's everything from UFC all the way down to the competitive side of wrestling or all wrestling or things of that nature. We know that um, your extensive work that you've done, whether it's through APL, and then you've done some stuff through them. If I'm not mistaken, there's APL and what Paisley with RQV,
RVQ,
Yeah,
RVQ.
Paisley's
RVQ antenna.
playground. I've
And,
also, done fantasy stuff too. I've worked with
right,
Bay
with
Fight.
Bay Fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So tell us, how did you get started in just into this
Hmm.
this fighting world? How did you get started?
A while back, like years ago, I want to say maybe I was like 23, 24. There was this girl, and at one point she was just like, yeah, there was this session that I do, and the other girl didn't show up. He's like, do you want to fly out to Dallas and take her spot? And I was like, sure, yeah, I'll do it. And I got there, and we did a few clips of wrestling. I fell in love with it. And then I just started getting more into it. I was just modeling at the time, and I was already a published model. So
Oh
Hmm.
wow! And so it's just an opportunity like that. Somebody dropped out. Hey, you want to make it? You know, make some money, jump on the plane. It is, yeah. So, and they
yeah,
say the rest is
that's it.
history.
And
And
I mean,
then
I
All
rest,
right,
also
so
like took Taekwondo when I was a kid too, so I was already into martial arts.
how'd you get into martial arts to start with? How did you get into it?
Both my parents took karate when they were kids, and they were just like, "Well, if we did martial arts, you're gonna do martial arts." And I started out with karate, but I'm sorry, that motherfucker was training me like I was in a fucking gym in China or something. He had us running with buckets. I was not having it. I was like, I'm tired, sir. And he's like, well, now you have to go in the hallway and hold these books. And exactly, wax on, wax off. Nah, I wasn't doing it. I was not doing it. And I told my dad about it, and he was like, "Okay, so then you're gonna take some type of martial arts. You got to be trained in something." And I was looking around, and I saw Taekwondo, and I was like, "I really like this," so I went with it.
Your dad knows exactly what he's doing because you're gonna need it sometimes in some kind of real life situation. That's what that means. Anyway, so you said you've been with Sweet Five. So you say you've been with Bay Five. You've been with APL. How'd you get with APL? How'd that come about?
I just sometimes put out advertisements that I'm traveling and that I'm looking to do fighting, wrestling, whatever. And usually, like studios will either contact me or I'll just DM them and like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in your area. I would love to work with you. I've seen your work," and I just end up connecting. It's all about connecting and networking yourself.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a producer that is out there and you would like to try to get this to work, because I'm on the mobile phone, because I'm on the road, I'm doing this all from remote. But if you would like to contact, she can be reached on. I keep wanting to say Twitter, but it's
It's
X
X,
now.
man.
It's
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 X
X
X
now.
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 We all want to say
Yeah,
Twitter now. It's X.
the Montana underscore Rojo on
Oh,
X.
yeah.
So she can be reached there.
Oh yes,
Yes,
100%. And I'm booking right now for November and December, so get at me.
talk about November and December, because one of the things that we've noticed, this is our third year of doing the show, and one of
Mm.
the things that we noticed that seems to come up once we get around Thanksgiving, it seems like a lot of the models, that's when they kind of shut down for the holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and then they may start up a week or two after January. Are you in that same vein? Like, okay, we push and push and push, so we can take like those 6 weeks off.
It really just depends. I try to personally, I'm from Louisiana, so my little 6 weeks in working hard pushing is for Mardi Gras. um, I'm not a huge fan of Thanksgiving or Christmas, so I try to personally work during those days because usually around January, February is when Mardi Gras is.
But
Oh,
now
okay.
I am a Bayou native. I was born in Covington, raised in Shreveport.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm from Southwest Louisiana, Lafayette.
Lafayette. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay.
we have a friend of the show that's
Yes,
also from
yes,
Louisiana.
yes,
You know her,
yes.
Raymond. You know how to
Kyla,
say her name.
yeah, Kyla.
All right.
Yep, from
Yep.
yes,
Mhm.
infamous. Yeah,
Very.
so it's just like wow, like all the Bayou people. I'm like, yes, yes. Now, are you a Saints fan, or are you a Cowboys fan, or are you one of the three percenters that are, well, it used to be Redskins, but now they go by Commanders.
Commanders. Yep.
Um, so my dad raised me to be a Saints fan. He said he does not care what I do with my life as long as I never become a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. So
Thanks.
that's the stance
Thanks.
there.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm all right.
Oh, okay, the Clem is a Cowboys fan, so you have to forgive him.
Years and years of
Um,
suffering, man.
yeah. Now, me, I've always believed. I looked at it. I've always looked at it like this: a great weekend for a Saints fan is Saints win, Cowboys lose, Falcons lose. The team from North Georgia. I don't even like to say Atlanta. They're just North Georgia. That's the
Wow.
team from North Georgia.
Wow.
I say there's two things I do every 4 years. One is vote in my national election, and in every 4 years, the only time I ever root for Dallas on anything is when they play Atlanta.
Okay, that's
Or
fair.
I
AKA,
will only
or the
root
kid from
for
North
Dallas
Atlanta,
when
North
they
Georgia.
play that. But I understand how your dad feels. I understand, man. Oh my God. If Shreveport years ago they switched the affiliate to Dallas, because it was like, well, we're only 3 hours from Dallas and it's 5 hours from New Orleans. I don't care. We in state lines. We should be the Saints. Oh my God. It was just because everybody in my family are Cowboys fans except for me. I'm the only Saints fan. So yeah, so but
Yep.
all right. So,
No
that's
problem. I'm all right. Y'all don't have to suffer as much as me, man. It's a continual struggle being in the streets. But anyways, we move.
I don't understand, man. I don't understand how y'all do it. It just and you get your hold of. You all are like Arsenal in English Premier League football.
That's
You
another
get
team I'm
it.
suffering with. No, that's another one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I pick people who suffer, man. What can I say?
Mm. Well, at least you're not a Lions fan. You
Exactly.
know.
It could be worse. I'm not a
uh,
Browns fan. They haven't won anything either, and they're worse.
yeah, the Browns. Yes. Well, I'll be
Yeah,
doing a couple of Browns
he's
games.
often
So.
disappointed from what I understand.
Okay. Well, back to our special guest, since we know a little
Yeah,
bit more
we're done
about
with
her
that.
background. We'll keep going. What is what would I say is your strong suit when it comes to wrestling? Are you more of a submission specialist? Would you consider yourself more ground and pound, more standing moves, kind of striking, non-striking, locks and
Um,
holds? What would you consider yourself? For those that
I'm
hadn't
really
seen you.
great with my holds. I really love doing my strike. As I said, I did the taekwondo, and I also do a little bit of kickboxing too nowadays. So
Mm.
strikes are like a really big thing for me. Gut punches, um, scissors. Definitely, I do really great scissors. Um, and I'm really good with a good Boston crab. One of my favorite moves.
I've noticed something. A lot of ladies, when it comes to wrestling, we all know that they're good with scissors holds. So this is interesting that you're like one of the people that said you're good with your punches because there's not many of them that will say that when it comes to the wrestling. Legs, yes, we all know the scissors. That's the predominant move for all women. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that wrestlers. So
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I
no, I'm
I'm
really
mean,
intrigued.
good with my strikes. I love them.
yeah, because especially when most people debate the jiu-jitsu is all about the scissors. He who controls the scissors
Yep,
controls the match. Simple as
correct,
that. Simple as that.
correct.
Simple as that. Who would you say is your toughest opponent you've had so far in
Hmm.
your travels? You know.
I had a match against a girl when I was doing Paisley's Playground. I cannot remember her name right now, but she's a total sweetheart, and I'm so sorry I can't remember your name right now. But she was pretty strong. Like she's fairly muscular. She had blonde hair, and she got me. She got me pretty good. Um, but yeah, I'd wrestle her again. It was a lot of fun.
Okay. What leads to my next question: who would be your dream opponent, or somebody you haven't worked with yet? If, would you love to try to work with?
Um, if I had to choose someone to work with, um, maybe a little Rampage. I would definitely want to like try to go against Paris Glove,
Okay.
people like
Okay.
You're going for the big game fish.
She going for that. She going for the as you would say the big fish. Okay. She going to the deep end. No worries. She going to the deep
well,
and,
end.
I endorse them
Right.
both. They're amazing. So
say what?
I said I
So you're
adore
going
them
to.
both,
She
and
said they're
I think they'd
amazing.
be great opponents for sure. I've seen them go out
I
against each
I will
other.
say
Amazing.
yeah, they ain't gonna make it easy for you. I'll say
Oh
that
no
right
no no
now.
no no
Both
no.
of them are competitive. Both of
And
them.
especially Rampage. I know Rampage will be watching. Rampage, we love you. We're still
He
waiting
will.
on you to come on the show. You know,
We
one
waiting
day
on you. Come on up.
when you set a date, we'll be there or something. We'll make it some kind of way to work. Um, um, but yeah, but with Rampage, she definitely will watch do that. She'll clip this part and be like, "Hey, come on," you know. So yeah, so just oh my god, yeah. So yeah, you pick people that can actually go and to see Paris's development, you know, over the years, how it started from her. I think now she's starting learning how to use her size to her
I
advantage
agree.
Oh yeah.
because she's 5'10", 5'10". Yeah,
Yep.
it's 145 pounds. So usually she's taller than most people she fight, except for like
Facts.
Vika and a few others.
Yep.
So,
I mean, yeah,
um,
go big
and,
or go home.
and for those that don't know your dimensions, measurements, or height, weight, and all of that, if you could share that for the audience.
Currently I'm 5'3". I'm 130. As far as muscle.
Okay,
Uh,
5'3". Okay,
Five
yeah.
three.
So yeah,
130.
so yeah, so that puts about what 20 pounds heavier than 15, 20 pounds heavier than Kyla. Same height.
Yeah.
They both 5'3". Same height.
They both side three. I think is it Kyla? I thought she was 120. Or did that change?
Mm, I don't know.
On the
I put it this way: depending on what side of the crawfish bowl bowl we on, that would that'll pay, man. Because you get you a whole bucket, and then just crack them heads open and just go to town, go to town. But it is very interesting. You talked about Mardi Gras. Oh my God, it's just like Mardi Gras. Yeah, wow, that's interesting. That's interesting because yeah, because I know in our fight industry, we noticed that there's always been seemed to be kind of a drop off that after Thanksgiving and some models they just don't work again until you get to New Year's.
Yep.
We had like a year or two before when New Year's fell on the weekend,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and people was fighting on that weekend. They was like, look, like New Year's Day, like because New Year's is one of those holidays. I tell people once you get past 3 a.m., nobody cares.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Unless you're in the Rose Bowl, actually playing in the Rose Bowl.
No one
Although,
cares.
yeah, nobody cares because the B is one of the big six is the one that is really focused on the Eve. It's really about New Year's Eve, where you're gonna
Eve,
be. New
not
Year's
New Year's
Day,
Day.
once you get
No
past
one
3
cares.
a.m.,
People are going to
nobody
work. What are you
cares.
talking about? Some people like
Nobody
me go to
cares.
work. New Year's Day don't care about that. I don't care about New Year's Day. People like me go to work. So
And I say
Um,
traveling on that day is pretty cool too,
you
because
gotta
that's
it.
be
true.
from there to understand.
So what?
I said you gotta be from there to understand.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it just
Like, even in school, we look forward to all that.
yeah. So let's see, Mardi Gras. I have not been in New Orleans for a Mardi Gras. You know what would be cool to do like a Mardi Gras something with that, but we'll talk about that in the sidebar.
That's
We'll
on the
talk about that. I
sidebar
got my I
business.
got my I
We
got
got.
my brain running now. You got my
I got a
brain
few
running.
things I want to say too, but I'm gonna save
I
that
got
for the
my brain
sidebar.
running. We'll save for the sidebar. Let me see what else. But Clem, you got questions? I know I normally.
You're good. I'll let you know this because I
Yeah.
don't know too much about
Okay.
her much. So I'm
Uh,
trying to pick simple
So,
questions.
what would be probably the biggest thing, the biggest jump between your first match and your second match? What do you think was the biggest thing? Was it more your stamina, more of okay, I know what to expect from when the first time you took that plane trip to Dallas and you got in it to the next set of matches you got to work? Whether it was Bay Fight, RVQ, APL, whoever.
Don't matter. Does not matter.
Well, that first match, it definitely took a lot of out of me. It was a very winded match because it was my first one. And even though that one was like I had a couple, and the first couple were fantasy, and then the other one was like kind of like a struggle one where I was like tied up, and then I shot another one with
Bondage.
like, I think semi-competitive, and it was a lot. I was like, wow, this is a lot of work. This is so much fun, and like I didn't do that great in my first few clips because of something I was new at. um my holds weren't as great, my acting wasn't as good, but by my second match, after I studied more videos and I practiced, I had it a lot better by the second match, and then by the third match I was just like clockwork. I was good at it after that.
Mm. Do you have like the favorite hold that you like to do or anything like that?
Boston crab,
Oh, so yeah.
occasionally
Oh,
camel
Yep.
clutch.
Camel clutch. Oof.
I also do like a little bit of the bear claws. Those are kind of fun.
you said bear hug?
Bear hug.
Bear claws, like
Bear
having them
claw.
Go
all like
going to
trigger
going to more definition of what a bear
off their
crawl
stomach.
is. Can you go more into definition of what a bear crawl is?
I'm sorry,
Can you go to the definition of what a bear crawl is?
a bear claw. So you have your
Yeah.
hand like this. You usually have them in a hold. Usually have their hands back, and you can just bear claw them in the stomach. Like you would just like swipe it in.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I
Okay.
didn't know that's what y'all called it. I was like bear claw. I was like, oh,
I've
okay.
never heard that in my life.
Well,
Well,
I
I
mean,
learned
It's
something
more of
it's
today.
a
even like this. So it's like a
Oh,
because you're
okay.
going for the abdominal muscles, right? So it's more
yeah,
like
it's almost
it's
like a
not
tricep.
quite yeah, it's not quite an abdominal. Abdominal stretch is when you have the obliques of it, but it's more
Yep.
of it's more like you attacking the abdominal area. Yeah, so
Right.
bear claw.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I just didn't know that's what it was. Like bear claw. I'm like, I don't remember that one. But everything, everybody may call it something different.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
Yeah.
let me see. Let me see. My next one. So we talked about who you who you fight, who you love to work with, your favorite holes, favorite what you learned. What would you tell anyone that wants to get into the industry? What advice
Yep.
would you give them? Any young lady, any if you would get to tell your former self or like your younger self, what would you tell them?
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of dedication. You need to definitely, you know, keep your strength up. Um, it's you're basically dedicating your life to it when you start getting into any industry as far as modeling or even just wrestling. Um, and if you can't put in the work and you think it's going to be instant money or that it's gonna be instant gratification or instant fame or anything like that, that's not how
Hmm.
this works. And that's what a lot of people tend to think, and it's really not. It's like a real job. It's not. It's more than a full time job. It's something that you can be proud of at the end of the day. It's not just a job. It's a career path, truthfully.
Hmm. So yeah,
And
yeah, since you're talking about that, talk about the what goes into all the physical things, and people don't understand how much work you have to put in to be a wrestler. It's more than just getting out there, get on, for example, in the ring, and you're doing professional or like you're doing sessions. There's like a conditioning program you got to go to. There's a mental and a physical thing also. So talk about the mental and the physical aspects of being a wrestler, session wrestler.
So as far as the mental, you definitely want to keep your head straight as much as possible. It can get overwhelming. It can get stressful at times. You may also feel a little doubt in yourself when you lose in certain sessions or in clips or catfighting, and you might feel some type of way. You have to have tough skin. You really do. Half the time when you're, going back and forth and talking shit with somebody, sometimes it's fake, sometimes it's real. Um, they're gonna try to like really get you angry. They're gonna try to like light a fire under your ass. Like you have to be able to be prepared for those types of things. Um, as far as the physical, you definitely need to eat healthy. Definitely get a good amount of protein in your body. You need to make sure you have a good cardio regimen. Personally, I choose yoga for mine. You need to make sure you have a good strength building regimen as well. Um, some girls get a personal trainer. Some girls just kind of wing it. But you want to work out at least 4 times a week, like roughly. And that's just like a minimum. I know some girls that do 6. So
Mm.
that's just a regimen that you have to absolutely keep up if you want to keep doing this back to back to back, especially if you're getting a lot of work. Because you will be sore the next day. You are going to be sore the next day if you're not using those muscles, working those muscles out, and doing what you're supposed to do.
oh wow, what would you do? What is your I want to say what I say funny, or at least the story that most people don't know. What would you say the funniest thing that happened to you during the shoot, or the moment that was maybe most gratifying for you?
Um, so I guess I would have to say when I shot with Paisley's playground. The girls that I shot with were all pretty cool. We were all laughing, goofing around. We had a few like um, fantasy clips to shoot, and this one particular guy, I don't know his name, don't know much about him. It was a commission, but he really loves Christmas stuff. So I was the Grinch, and the other girl, I was just my opponent. And it was just so hard to keep a straight face. We had to like shoot that one a couple times. But I had to tell her that I'm the Grinch and I'm gonna give her a Christmas ass something as a present or something like that. And we just kept laughing because we just couldn't. We were just like, wow, that's creative, but like it's funny, it's good.
Custom. You know what I'm
Uh,
trying to say. I can't say it, but
custom
anyways,
Yeah, yeah, dealing with those with the customs, and they have like a certain script and all of that, and trying to act
yeah.
to be like, I got to be the bad girl or the good girl. Do you on those kind of things? Is there one you like to be more than the other, or that's easier for you to get in the character?
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty funny every now and then. I have had like some custom clips where it's pretty creative. I really like when they make a script sometimes because I like to see what's on their mind and what's really in there.
Oh
It
wow, oh
always seems
All
wow.
like
right.
it's
So when it comes to customs, what kind of limit? I know there's a limit on customs that you want. So what will you not do? What will you not do? Because there's some men that will push a limit on these customs.
Lord Jesus.
I gotta ask because so
um there's
they have an idea.
there's not too many things that they've really ever asked me in customs that I wouldn't do. Um I mean, like, as it really more be more X-rated stuff that I don't really do. Like, I don't do like boy girl scenes. Like, I do like a girl girl scene or something like that. But as far as with wrestling, like, I'm not gonna go and break another girl's jaw or like hurt them severely or
Mm,
anything for like extra money.
Hmm.
Like, that's just terrible and awful. Like, of course we're
Hmm.
gonna have a fair fight. Have it, maybe 20-minute round, or we'll do like 3 rounds, whatever. And just go at it. But we're not gonna be like, oh, you can punch me in the face, or,
right.
like, you can
Right.
bite me or do this or that. Obviously, like, we're gonna keep it still respectful.
Okay. So on the point of fights, what is your longest fight you've had?
Mm, I think that one was probably like 20 minutes. I think that one was also with Paisley Playground, roughly like 20 something.
Hmm.
And when you look at whether it's and I'm saying this purely from the competitive side, competitive standpoint. Do you look at catfighting or let's say competitive wrestling? Do you look at it more as a fetish or as a sport?
I see it personally more as a sport from the competitive side. Um, I know that guys are buying it as a fetish, but you really get into it, and it does feel more like a sport. I have a roommate, and they used to wrestle in high school, and it's very similar. Like, they've pointed out similarities in the past about how it is more like a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
because
was
this has been a long running debate between not just with myself and him, but a lot of other people, right? A lot of other people, for sure. I'm glad
I
you
mean, I
cleared
can
that
really
up.
say that it's both. Like, because from the
Mhm.
consumer perspective, it's still a fetish, but with us as the
well,
models that are going against each other, it is a sport. We train like it's a sport. We work hard
mhm,
like it's a sport. We go at it like it's a
right.
competition.
Right.
Especially when you're talking about the point of how you're eating and you're training. Yeah,
Hmm.
you may still work out and be a monk, but I mean, if you know you're going to take bumps and bruises and stuff like that, and you're going to be sore, you want to stretch, you want to eat right, drink a lot of water, hydrate.
Exactly.
Don't do the oh my god, eating what was it 2 hours before? I mean, 30 minutes
Yes.
before shoot, eating
Don't
heavy.
do
Like,
that.
what are you doing? You
Don't
know,
do that.
just
Your food does not digest when you do that. You gotta give yourself at least 4 or 5 hours before so that stuff can settle. Then you
I
get ready to
cannot
go.
tell you how many times we've seen the shoot get messed with because a girl just would eat heavy just for. I'm like, what are you doing? What do you
Yeah,
think this
you're
is?
going so you're gonna
Like,
throw up. You're
no,
getting thrown around.
yeah. And so it's okay. Well, do you have any upcoming projects coming up that you would like to,
Talk about.
or OnlyFans or anything you want to plug? You know, for our
Um,
audience here tonight, they want to know more about you. We'll
well,
go up and put the Twitter
bio.
thing again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, on Twitter in my bio I have in all my links. Currently right now I have a dungeon that's actually available. We have a 10 by 10 mat for wrestling sessions. So it's located in Oakland Park, Florida. If you're ever coming through the area or you're a part of this area, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, feel free to DM me. My DMs are open. It's $100 for the space, and we can rent it either for clips, or if you would like any private sessions, you're more than welcome to rent the space for me for 100 plus my rate. It's pretty great, and I also have pictures of it on my Instagram and on my Twitter. So feel free to go check it out. We also have a cross and a cage available. So if there are any subs out there that are looking to either be in service to me or do sessions, I'm also available for that too.
All right, that sounds beautiful. That sounds beautiful.
That was impressive, actually. Very
Yeah,
impressive. You guys, you see, that's pretty impressive. I can't even lie.
yeah.
Can't
So I
lie.
mean, see that's what the great ones they got their ducks in a row. The great ones got their ducks in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a great one. Definitely.
All right. Clem, do you have anything else? So we can
Yeah,
do our
I
closing
got
credits, and then
yeah,
we'll
I
go to
got a
the
couple of
sidebar
questions.
portion. Okay, no,
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
I got a couple of questions. She says she's a model, so I want to see. I want to know how she got into that and who she actually met that's further impressed your for career in this. So
So the way that that started was, I was 16 and I was an assistant to my friend who was a photographer, and they were also a teenager. And one of the models didn't show up one day, and she was like, "I really need to get this shot so we get published." So, I got in the mud because it was a mud type of shoot, and I took the photo and she sent it off. Unfortunately, that one didn't get published, but I did enjoy modeling. So from ages 16 up until 18, I was mostly like modeling for fun. I didn't take it serious. And then I basically met this guy, and he goes by Weird Rabbit Photography. His name's Jesse. Wonderful, wonderful human being located in Alexandria, Louisiana. So if you're ever out there, please go and shoot with him. He has amazing work, and that's Weird Rabbit Photo or Weird Rabbit Photography. Um, we started shooting together, and he submitted quite a few photos of me, and it ended up getting published. And after that, it just took off. And he is one of the people I can just thank for being amazing and knowing what he was doing and having such great work. He got me there, and we worked together, and we were just such a great team while I was there in Louisiana for as long as I could be.
all right.
Wow.
My last question: since we're talking about on the ways of judo, if you were to, sorry, so in a way of taekwondo and all that stuff, for all the young kids out there that want to do that for discipline, because I recommend that for discipline. What's your words? What would you tell them to for the
If I had to tell them something, I would say that don't get discouraged with it. I know that it seems hard. I know that it seems stressful. I know that with the competition, sometimes you're not going to be able to do it on your first go. But if you keep working hard at it, just know you're doing your best and just have fun with it. You know, if you win, you win. If you lose, it's still okay. You had a great time. You worked hard at it. You're still loved. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Okay, what she's trying to say is if you lose, it means you're okay. Just get better. That's what it means. Just get better, learn from
Yeah,
it,
just
and
keep trying.
keep it
You
going.
can do it.
All right, Claus, you can go ahead and close the show. I'm doing my questions.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for watching the Clem and Call Show every second and fourth Monday here at 9:30 Eastern Time that we like to start. We're here live from the parts unknown. As they say in the wrestling business, parts unknown. I can be reached on X. I'm still not going to be used to saying X. X, formerly known as Twitter, and IG at Calls Web.
And I can be found on Clem Okufo on X, or as he said, formerly known as Twitter. Oh Lord, and Clem underscore IG.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
And I know our next show would be November. What is that? November 13th?
I think you're right. Yes, I
Yes,
think you're right.
November. Yeah,
November 13th.
it'd be November 13th will be our next show. So it'll be a nice little gap. We will have I'm trying to
Halloween.
remember. I think it's Ziva that week.
Ziva phase.
Yeah,
Wait, I think
yeah,
you're saying
Ziva Faye. Yeah, we have Ziva Faye in for the 13th. So
correct.
um
Make sure you
so
check in,
ladies
people.
and
That's a good one.
yes, ladies and gentlemen. So as we get ready for the sidebar and close out, we'd like to thank our special guest, Goddess Rojo Montana. I wanted to
Yes.
make sure I said Rojo, not Rojo.
Yeah, Rojo.
And in Spanish, it's Espanol. It's like, it is a Rojo. So again,
Yeah.
we'd like to thank her for coming to the show.
Yes.
Yeah, applause, applause, applause.
Yeah, because if you didn't
Yes.
say Rojo correctly, you already know they're gonna be on your case, man.
And that's the thing. Even being from the bayou, it's like gusto, gumbo,
Yeah. Also, yeah, it was French.
it always,
Remember, remember French, and remember the French purchase was you guys, Louisiana. So you have to say it
I
French, like
know.
Gusto and Moreau and all the other
Yeah,
stuff. That's just part of it.
yeah. So we had to
Anyways,
do
for
it.
my guys as well, for our ghost, Miss Rojo Montana, myself, Clement Kufo. Till next time, we are out. See y'all guys on November 13th.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.